Y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. E-double-L, I said so. I keep big bills up in my heart on the dirty like blood, so ain't got no twist in my head.
What's up, everybody? It's your man Apollo. I'm back out here rolling with my man Z. I almost said solo. I am not solo. I got my man Z. It is time for another episode of the Unfiltered Sports Podcast. Y'all, come on, file on in. Thank y'all for joining us. This week, we going over the top 5 rushing offensive line, top 5 passing offensive line. Y'all should be able to get that. But before we get started, y'all see in the middle between our names, be sure to follow us on social media platforms. Find us on Facebook, Unfiltered Sports Podcast. Follow me at all social media links at Apollo Solo 23. Links will be in the description, all right? My man Z is in charge of the Facebook page. We are here. Z, say hello to the lovely people out there, our football fanatics.
What's up, everyone?
What's up?
Glad to be back again for another week.
Another week. We back out here. We about to ramp up. The season is training camp started. It's ramping up. Football,
more weeks.
We can't wait. We're getting that itch. It's time. Football season is about to take over. We about to take over. But like I said, today we got the top 5 rushing offensive lines, top 5 passing offensive lines. We're going to go through the rushing offensive lines first, then we'll go to the passing. Some of these will repeat. Some of these y'all may look at us like, okay. Some of these y'all may look at us and like, y'all are dumbasses. You don't know what you're talking about. How could you leave X, Y, and Z out and then put in A, B, and C? Whatever you think, you feel, or your thoughts, be sure to leave them down in the comment section. Let us know who your top 5 or top 10 offensive lines in the league going into the season is. But as usual, before we get started, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the content. Thank y'all so much for coming through. Everybody, thank y'all so much. We greatly appreciate it. But we're not going to hold y'all guys any longer. I'm going to let my man Z go ahead and take over. I like to let him go first. I'm going to let him go ahead and get this thing started. Go ahead, Z.
All right, so went through a lot. I looked at offensive lines that are specific at one thing, So
yes,
if you're a run-heavy offense, you're going to be on my run offensive line. If you're a pass-heavy offense, you're going to be on my pass line. And I think that a lot of people overlook that, but we're not doing like they are good at passing and rushing. We're just doing, like, for me specifically, it's going to be, hey, they were just rushing.
Yeah.
And if they were good at rushing and passing, they'll be on both my lists. So I didn't have any honorable mentions for run blocking. I feel like there's not a lot of good teams in it.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, there's a lot of mediocre. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of mediocre that be good at one thing, but they're mediocre at the rest.
Oh, no, I agree. 100%, man.
So my number 5 is actually the LA Rams. I think that they've always been focused on that run defense or that run offense.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like with like the supporting character of like Andrew Whitworth, Rob Harrison, David Edwards, Austin Colbert, and Bobby Evans, it's a really good run blocking offense.
Spoiler alert, guys, my offensive line, number 5, for passing and rushing is the same. So I'm just going to cover them both together. Number 5, I got the Indianapolis Colts. I got the Colts. Clearly a top 5 rushing line. Now, I think they get overlooked as a passing line. Now, how I viewed this or how I rated these lines is, and when it comes to rushing, not only how good are they at blocking, but how good are they in combination with the running game in general as a whole and their tailbacks. Like, I know you need a good tailback to, make plays happen. But no matter how good your tailback is or how good your quarterback is, if you don't have a good line, look at Exhibit A, Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, you're not going to do anything. So I took all that into account, and also just look at it from an eye test. Just like the Indianapolis Colts have a dominant offensive line. They have the top guard and tackle in football or something on their line.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have out of the 5 positions on the offensive line, 3 of them
They got
are
three
top rated.
Yeah, they got 3 top rated linemen. The other 2 are.
And I think the other 2 are mid pack or high mid pack. So like top 15, top 20.
And for a line, that's good. When you got 5 top 10, top 15 linemen, I think you're good across the board. The Colts line reminds me of the Cowboys line about 7 years ago when DeMarco Murray went off, when Zach Martin and Smith and Frederick, when all of them were healthy. That's how I look at the Indianapolis Colts line now. So now Carson Wentz has a good line. I can't wait to see how he's going to do behind this line. Like I said, the running backs aren't the biggest of names, but they still get a lot of rushing yards. And Phillip Rivers was protected very well this past season. And again, the Colts line, they're big, beefy, meaty man up there blocking, and they're all elite. At least 3 of them are elite, and then the other 2 are very good. Possible Pro Bowl guy. Like, if the whole Colts offensive line made the Pro Bowl, is it a shocker? No, it's not a shocker. And that's why now I got them at number 5 because the guys ahead of them, like I said, you got to take into account who is at the other positions in the backfield as well. But Indianapolis Colts easily overall a top 10 or top 5 offensive line. And in each category, rushing and passing, I got them top 5. So, Z, who you got at number 4 for rushing?
Well, I feel like you gave the Colts a little blow right there, man.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I feel you a little salty on them, man. It's like me with the Kansas City Chiefs, dude. So, again, for me, rush heavy offenses is what made my line or made me make my decisions. And like you said, the running back does make a lot of the line. If the line can block and hold good, and the running back gets 1,000 yards or 1,500 yards this season, I mean, obviously we can judge that as a good blocking offense.
Absolutely.
So I have the San Francisco 49ers as my number 4, mainly because they have a beast in Trent Williams, Mike Glinchey, and just a bunch of other guys, man. Like, literally, and they even went in the draft and picked up more guys. And we know 49ers have always been a very rush-heavy offense.
Very.
Even with Kittle in there, I mean, they really are that West Coast fucking run style,
And mixed with that great play calling.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't, to me, they're a lot like the Tennessee Titans. You can't really predict one thing on them. And if you do, they're only going to let you do one play on it. They'll let you get to the quarterback once and they make you pay for it. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's why San Francisco is my number 4 there. Because my top 3 are, I think they're going to coincide with a lot of people's because of who their players are.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. Number 5 was a tough debate between Indy and San Francisco. But I wound up putting Indy in over San Fran. So we can just count San Francisco as an honorable mention in my top 5 rushing. But number 4, I got the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, I know you got Lamar, but you got J.K. Dobbins in the backfield, Ingram when he's healthy. They're literally
RG3.
RG3. Like, they're literally their offense is based on their run game. So if you're gonna base your offense on running the ball, 75% of the time, you need a good rushing offensive line. The Baltimore Ravens is a good running team. Now, granted, in the playoffs, it's a little different because you can scheme and kind of focus on it. But if you were just to, from a weekly basis, just play them straight up, the Baltimore Ravens will move you. They will dominate you. They will run all over. I think this was, the second or third in a row They led the league in rushing by a long
Yeah.
stretch. Like Baltimore is now you would think with me saying that they should be number 1, not number 4. But again, it goes into who is also in the backfield, which is why my top 3 will be a little bit easier to explain. But number 4, Baltimore Ravens all day. Hopefully they get even better and stay healthier. And they'll be even more dangerous if Lamar Jackson. By the way, to the person that made a comment to me about a week ago about the Lamar Jackson hate. We don't hate Lamar Jackson. I don't hate Lamar Jackson.
No, we don't.
If anything, I am Lamar's biggest effing fan. But you cannot sit and watch that man and just with a straight face say he is an elite passer. He is, if anything, above average as a passer. If he develops more, he will be even more dangerous. Again, Lamar's a top 10 quarterback because of what he can do with his legs. He is dangerous. But I'm just critiquing him hard because he's a superstar. He's been an MVP. I'm just critiquing what I'm watching.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we talked about this many times. Yeah, people just get rough.
They think it's hate on Lamar because you critique his game and you don't say he's just not as good as passer as Brady or Aaron Rodgers or XYZ. Well, he's not. I mean, it's okay. He's not. I mean,
yeah.
I would go far as say Kyler Murray is a better passer than Lamar Jackson. But Lamar Jackson will make more plays than Kyler Murray.
Not,
you know?
That's the thing, man. Lamar Jackson is one of those guys where you can't trap him in the pocket because he'll take off on you.
Exactly.
The thing is that he's just developed that I'm going to take off first. You know, for all the haters that want to hate on us and all that other stuff, we just see how it is. You know, we look at all of his game film. You're going to see 70% of the time he's going to want to run versus throw the ball.
Yeah.
And throwing the ball is always second nature to him now. And that's just the one thing that we see as fans that he just needs improvement. That's it.
That's it. That's all we're saying.
That's it.
We're not saying he's horrible, you know, all that. No, it's not hate. People think critiquing someone's game is hate. It's not hate. We're just giving her what we see as an eye test. It's okay. It's okay. Lamar Jackson's great. The Baltimore Ravens offensive line is great. It's okay. But we're going to move on to number 3. Number 3, man, who you got?
So, my number 3 is the Ravens, man. I feel like when we sit there and talk about it, dude, like they acquired Alejandro Villanueva, they had Kevin Zettler, Bradley Bozeman, Patrick McCarty. Dude, this is a solid run offensive line, man. They really are, dude. That's why Lamar has that time to do those quick changes, dude. I mean, he makes all linebackers look stupid.
Yeah.
Because they can just push them back, you know, and the amount of gap space that the Ravens O-line creates is like something I've never seen. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy, like, especially when you have like big ass fucking running backs going through them like they're fucking walking down a hallway, you know? I mean, it's just one of those things, man. And I feel like that's really why Lamar Jackson runs as good as he does, because these guys make giant gaps and he can see down the field like, oh, my guy's covered. I'm going to run 60 yards down the field because you ain't going to catch him.
I agree. My number 3 is the Cleveland Browns.
And that's too low for me, man.
That's too low?
That's too low. You're going to see,
Well, my top 2 are top 2 because of who they got in the backfield. And it goes with Cleveland, who they got in the backfield. You got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. That run game in Cleveland, if they really lean on it, not as much as Baltimore leans on theirs, but if they lean on it and Baker Mayfield really gets better at play action, Cleveland's going to be a problem this year. Nick Chubb tore the league open. We know what Kareem Hunt was before all his incidents, but he still came back, and to have him as your number 2, that says, I mean, what can you ask for? And they got a third back, right? I mean, he's pretty okay.
I mean, dude,
but you know, Chubb and Hunt
you
get
got
the majority
two
of the carry
running backs in the back, dude. So
in the backfield. I mean, Before
think about when Nick
before
Chubb got
Kareem-
injured this year.
Yeah, and before Kareem Hunt left Kansas City, he was a top 10 back.
Oh, well, yeah, I'd say top 5 easy.
And see, there you go. And he clearly ain't really lost a step. It's just that Chubb is getting the majority of the carry. So you got 2 top 5 running backs in your backfield with a superior offensive line that they need to take advantage of now. I understand you want Baker Mayfield to be the show. And not saying Baker Mayfield can't ball. But when you got those studs in the backfield and those big, meaty men up front slapping meat, use them. Please, Cleveland, use them. Cleveland's offensive running game is literally like, I'm at a lost words because I can't think of the word to describe them. Like it is just powerful. I don't think anyone really can stop them. Like even if you skim it, because Chubb is so good, Hunt is so good, and their line is so good. But I mean, the top 2, I think it's a space, it's a gap. Like you got Cleveland here with the other ones, but then the top 2, they're kind of up there for me by themselves. So
I can't say that because of where I have them on my list. I gotta be a little quiet because I feel like you just dissing them just a little bit.
I'm dissing them.
Just a little bit, man. Because Cleveland's like, let's just say this, dude. Cleveland overall is number 1 offensive line, hands down. Really? They're number 1 in rushing and they're number 2 in passing. Okay. Yep. And they had the least amount of sacks than any other unit. So I mean, I feel like you just a little bit,
Yeah, but if we go in it by how I'm judging it, I mean,
I feel you. I get you.
Who you?
I feel you.
Okay, so it's safe to say Cleveland's number 1 on your list.
Yep. So that's exactly who my number 1.
Okay, so who's number 2 then? Because
number 2 is Tennessee Titans.
Okay, because my number 2, I don't know how you leave off the list, but go ahead, because Tennessee's my number 1.
So Tennessee Titans, the reason why they're number 2, not number 1, is there has been lots of changes within the O-line throughout this offseason. Okay. And it's not a diss to them. It's not because you still got Henry in the backfield. But I feel like for this season coming up, they're still going to finish a top 5 O-line in general.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like with those changes, those guys have got to realize, Henry will move you.
Oh, yes,
you're in his way.
Yes.
I don't give a shit if you're 300 pounds. He's going to move you.
He will move you.
You're going to realize that he's going to move you. So I feel like that's like the only thing that like I took off really for them.
Yeah.
But it's only because you know how O-lines work and D-lines, man. It takes time to develop. It's not you can't just put a whole new O-line together and expect them to just fire off day one. Like it just doesn't work.
Agreed. My number 2 may make your honorable mention. You may think they're even kind of high, and you may take this as disrespect. I got Minnesota at number 2. I got Minnesota, and we all know why. Because of the top back in the league, Mr. Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook is unstoppable, and he's unstoppable because he has a line that knows how to block for him. Because as good as he is, he can't do it by himself. And I feel like I sound like Stephen A. Smith right now, but Dalvin Cook, like just the way I was.
I'll take.
Yeah, just the way
I'll take.
Yeah, just the way I was saying it. But I think Minnesota's line doesn't get enough credit for what Dalvin Cook does. Like these other teams, including Tennessee, we give their O-lines, we give them their flowers, as people say all day. I don't hear many people talk about Minnesota's O-line. And just for shits and giggles the other day, I watched some Cook highlights. Because I'm like, let me really look at the line. That offensive line will move your ass. They make holes. Like, a lot of Dalvin Cook runs, he ain't Barry Sanders in it out there. Not saying he can't, because he can. But there are some runs where you like, that's a big-ass hole. Like,
hole. I feel like, for me, I left him off the list because of the amount of sacks and the amount of tackle for losses that they allow. Yes, they do have huge breakthroughs
Yeah,
with
I
Dalvin
think
Cook.
that kind of goes to because they run a lot of like stretch plays and like outside runs, and when you run stuff like that, it's like it's the same with for example, okay, so one of my offensive passing lines is the Seahawks. Yes, Russell Wilson gets sacked a lot, but he runs into those sacks because of what he's trying to do and create.
Whew,
But
whew, you're gonna piss some people off today.
I don't give a damn. But like I said, like Minnesota, like yeah, I don't think he gets tackled for loss as much. But I guess when it's just when he does, it just has that effect because of how good not only he is, but how good that line is. But I know you said your number one is Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
And my number
Yeah.
one
Well,
is Tennessee. But yeah,
so
state your case for the Browns.
back to what you were saying with the Vikings, man. They're not very good at that inside running the ball. When that you know what I mean? They can run the outside lanes all day long with that mid, like getting it in between. But when they try to run right through the gut,
Yeah,
that's where they have a lot of issues, man. And that's where you get a lot of like the top, like that's where Dalvin Cook doesn't do a lot of his good plays. And we agree Dalvin Cook was the best running back in
hands
the
down.
league coming in this.
Hands down.
And
Don't argue with me. Don't nobody argue with me. I don't care what you say.
No, I know.
Dalvin Cook's the best back in the league. You can argue.
Oh yeah,
if you
well,
want to argue,
his passing ability,
yeah. If you want
or
to
his
argue,
catching ability, man.
if you want to argue, there's a social media link. Come find me. We can argue about that shit. I don't give a damn. But I got Tennessee one because I mean, Derek flipping Henry. he's an extra lineman in the back. He's a fullback in the backfield. He is 6'4", 260 pounds. He is literally like 20 pounds lighter than, or 30 pounds lighter than most offensive linemen in the league.
Yeah. Well, here's my thing to you. Here's my question to you. Outside of Tennessee fans, who's the RB2? I don't know.
Who's what?
Who's the RB2? Who's the RB2? For the Tennessee Titans. Who is it? I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. Who if you're a Titans fan, let us know who is running back two in Tennessee.
And this isn't just us trying to bullshit. Like it's reality, man. Like we're pretty avid fans of football and we don't know. Most teams you can name 1 and 2 for most positions.
Yeah.
That's why I have Cleveland as number 1, man. Because
of the two-headed monster, yeah.
Dude, even if one of them is injured, dude, you're screwed on both sides. Like, they both eat up yardage, dude. But my biggest thing, man, is 3 years ago, the Cleveland Browns O-line was garbage. And when I say it's garbage, it was garbage.
Bro.
There was they were one of the biggest sacked units, dude. And then
they were ass.
They started trading for like backups that or like guys who really weren't in the league long. Like for instance, like Wyatt Teller from the Bills, dude. They traded for him, dude, and it was like the weirdest trade ever because they gave a lot of stuff up, but now it makes sense because he wasn't that productive in for Buffalo.
Yeah.
So that's like, dude, like that's why I gotta say, dude, it's not just the backs, dude. Like a lot of these guys were second chance guys.
Yeah.
Most of these guys weren't first round draft picks, second round draft picks. And they were given a chance. You know what I mean? And I feel like these guys work harder than any other unit. They're number 1 for rushing.
Yeah.
They're number 2 overall.
I can't argue that.
For passing. So I mean that's like we don't see it that much because we don't think about it, but Cleveland does. I mean, like, watch those games, dude. Like, I think Baker Mayfield takes a nap in the backfield. Like, he's so safe.
And you know what? Back to what you said when, like, you don't think no one sees it. Like, the offensive line is the one position where you have to rate them as a unit. You can't rate them individually. Like next week's video, even though we're rating defensive linemen as a unit, we can pick certain single players like that guy is dominant, that guy is dominant, that guy. You can't really do that Because the offensive line is the one area in football where you have to view them as a unit, because one individual
Yeah.
can't change the game at O-line, whereas one defensive lineman, if he's a pass rusher, can change the game because he's one-on-one with that guy.
I've got a rebuttal for you there.
Okay.
They can change the game, but in a negative way.
Yes. Oh my God.
And what I mean by that,
no, I got
a good example is penalty. Like look at penalties or sack. They allow a sack, dude. I mean, you're negatively affected both ways.
I got a perfect example. A couple years ago when Tyler Smith went out, and then we had to play the Falcons, and the Falcons got damn near all their season sacks against us because the left tackle could not block that end. He had a career day. I was sitting up here pulling whatever hair I had left out. So yes, in a negative way, one lineman can impact the game.
Oh yeah, quickly.
But I'm looking real quick at Tennessee's depth chart, according to ESPN.com. So you got Henry at 1, 2, 3, and 4th. I don't know who these guys is. Darrington Evans. Somebody let me know if I said that right. Jeremy McNichols. Brian Hill. I feel like those last two dudes are white. I don't know. Just
that's what I was trying to explain, man. Like, you have Henry, dude, and then who? And that's like a lot of it. Like, that's why Cleveland jumped to my top, because they have two guys who are very capable of being a starting quarterback anywhere, and not only being a starting quarterback, but not quarterback, running back. Apologize, but being an elite running back. Yeah. Not just a guy that's in your backfield, it's elite, and it's just crazy to me, dude, because Cleveland's definitely going to be lucky this year. That kind of brings me to my number 5 for my passing O-line.
It's Cleveland.
I have the Browns.
Yeah.
And just like how you said, you had the Colts on both lists. So, I mean, the Browns, I feel like their offensive weapons are there. They're just out of sync a little bit, and like I said, it's like Baker Mayfield can sleep back there, but he just never truly makes the right call.
I was gonna say, here's the thing, because you got Baker, you got two-headed monster running back, you got Jarvis Landry, who can be a number 1, you got Odell Beckham Jr., who is clearly a number 1. You got a good tight end. You got good third and fourth receivers. What do you think has been the issue for why Cleveland hasn't taken the next step, per se, like how Buffalo did this past season? Like,
so
because Baker should have already done what Josh Allen did with Stephon Diggs. Baker had Odell and Jarvis and that tight end whose name's on the tip of my freaking tongue right now, and he had a two-headed monster running back. Josh Allen did not have a running game like Baker Mayfield does. Nowhere.
No running game.
Nowhere.
No wide receivers. No O-line.
None.
Nothing.
Nowhere.
His first season.
So I don't know.
The hot take right here. I got you.
Wait for it. Kill the music, Greg. Let's go.
So, I think the major reason why, man, you had the O-line, right? You had the perfect. I mean, you're talking about one of the best O-lines in the entire NFL.
Yeah.
You had a good running back. Not only one, but two, right? Mm-hmm. Then you have a good tight end core and a good wide receiver core.
Yeah. I'm gonna look up that.
That's everything, but isn't it Hopperson or something like that? Or Hopson?
I'm gonna look it up. I don't know. I freaking know it. I'm looking it up.
Okay, so what position didn't I name on this list?
Austin Hooper, yes.
Yeah. But I told you, I left out QB, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing against Baker Mayfield. Nothing against him. I feel like he can manage a game to win it.
Yeah.
If he falls behind, though, he starts playing panic ball, man, where he throws that interception in a really weird way. Like
he starts trying to do too much.
And there's nothing against that.
Yeah.
There's nothing against that. And, I feel like his first and second season, dude, he had that cocky-ass attitude, dude. No one's better than me. I'm better than Tom Brady. I'm better than Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. No one can ever touch me. yada yada yada. Not ever giving credit to his wide receivers, his running back, his O line, his tight end.
But
You
that's
know,
how
he
quarterback.
never
That's how
gave credit
quarterbacks
to
are. They're
nobody.
quarterbacks are divas. That's how they are. You know, they're the glitz and the glamour. They're the Hollywood superstar of the team.
Yeah,
They're usually the only guys outside of a superstar wide receiver that casual and hardcore fans will know if we walk by them on the street. Just like Nick Chubb was not even recognized in the
yeah.
airport. If we was to walk by an NFL offensive lineman right now, we would just think, man, that guy's probably a fucking bodybuilder. No, he's probably an elite offensive lineman, you know? Like, but we wouldn't
Yeah,
know
well,
because we don't know those
and
guys by name.
yeah, and you know, no hate on Baker Mayfield because I feel like he's starting to click it all together. You know, like he took some humble pie and ate it
Yeah.
because this last season, man, it's you see it, dude. In his
Yeah.
interviews, he wasn't so cocky.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, we did a good job. We did what we had to do, but unfortunately, we lost. You know, like he ate that humble pie. I mean, shit, dude. They almost beat the Chiefs, dude, in the
Yeah.
playoffs. Like
Yeah.
they're a really good team. It's just realistically right now, it is all on Baker. They've given him every weapon. They've given him every chance. I mean, you name it, dude. I mean, if I had OBJ and Jarvis Landry and Cooper and the freaking best O line in freaking NFL plus
Bro.
two of the best running backs, dude,
Bro.
please, and I suck at fucking being a fucking quarterback, dude. Like,
If I had those weapons Baker had, first of all, if you throw anything less than 30 touchdowns, you fail. Your season's a failure.
yeah,
At least statistically. You throw anything less than 30 touchdowns, you fail. Because Odell Beckham should be good for at least, by himself, 10 to 11. Jarvis can get you another 8 or 9. Okay,
mm-hmm.
Austin Hooper can get you about 6, 7, 8. So already you're pushing over 25. You can get a couple to Chubb and Hunt. And by the way, you got your third and fourth receivers. So they're right there. From just me running down that should already put you over 30 touchdowns easily. So Baker this year, if Baker throws anything less than 30 touchdowns and the Browns do not at least make it to the second round, failure. Season is failure. Blow it up.
For sure, dude. And that's like, I feel like that's unlike Josh Allen. That was unlike Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
You know, where they actually had. I mean, well, Lamar was kind of a little different, man. And no diss on him or anything like that. I feel like he kind of went to a good situation.
Yeah.
And but like Josh Allen went to like the worst franchise to go to, dude. You know, I'm a huge Bills fan, man.
Yeah, he did.
And I was ecstatic when we got Josh Allen, dude. Like I was like, oh, and then like that like fear hit me, like, holy crap, dude, this guy's like raw as shit. Like, are we gonna be able to develop him, or are we gonna ruin him?
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, it went the right way. But I love Josh Allen, but he had no O line, he had no wide receivers, dude. He had a freaking horrific running back room. His first season, dude. I'm surprised he was able to go 6-6 his first season. You know, he got nothing.
Right.
His
Yeah.
second season. His second.
Uh-oh. I think we just lost Z, y'all. Hold on, Z. Check your connection, Z. Y'all bear with us. As y'all can see, we still in the early stages. We ain't big time yet, like a lot of these other podcasts out here. But guess what? The name of the podcast is Unfiltered Sports Podcast, which means we keep it real. We give our unfiltered, honest take. That's all it is. We ain't out here trying to bash nobody, cuss nobody out. It's unfiltered because we're two veterans. Veterans aren't filtered. We have dark sense of humor, all right? So I'll let you know. Hopefully Z will get that taken care of. But while Z fixes that, I'm going to give you guys my number 4 passing O-line. And I got the Seattle Seahawks. And despite what people may think, because, you know, Russ, like I said earlier, will run into a lot of sacks and stuff. The Seattle Seahawks, if Russell Wilson really wanted to just stand in the pocket, he can stand in the pocket. I mean, look how many, they lead the league in deep passes, attempts, and completions. In order to do that, you need a good line to hold up and block. You're not just going to drop back and think you're going to be throwing deep passes all day if you ain't got a good offensive line. Okay? That's something I think people overlook. Just that little small detail. The fact that oh, hold on. Z's back. Let me get him back in the thing.
Are we back? Are we good? We got me here.
Yeah. I had just went ahead and started explaining my number 4. But yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah. I was saying how people overlook this small little detail about the Seahawks because they lead the league in deep pass attempts and completions. Yes, Russ gets sacked a lot, but a lot of those times he's scrambling, trying to what? Buy time. Make more time for receivers to get open, or he's scrambling to try to make a play happen to get a first down. You can't lead the NFL in deep pass attempts and completions if you don't have an offensive line that can hold up. Because I really truly think if Russ wanted to sit back there for a minute, call Sierra, call Future, tell him how much of a fuckboy. I'm just playing. If he wanted to do all that, he could do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Seattle Seahawks, they're not. Their offensive line, the mentality has shifted from when they had Marshawn Lynch. They were more run-based heavy. I think now they are clearly molded for Russ and more pass-based heavy, which is why he wants more control in the offense, which I feel like you should give the quarterback. He's supposed to be the captain, the one who runs the offense. He's like the point guard. But unlike in basketball, where usually the wing player is the main guy on the team, and football, it's your quarterback. Because he's the guy, every play, he's going to touch the ball. So he needs to have some input. But that's why I got them at number 4. You said you had who at number 4? Did we go over your number 4?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
So I'll do my 4 and 3.
Yeah, go ahead.
My number 4 is the Dallas Cowboys, man. I feel like...
Really, nigga?
Say, what? What you just say?
Dallas Cowboys, man.
Or what?
The number 4 pass offensive line.
Offensive line in what?
Passing.
In what?
The NFL?
What NFL?
I'm right. Well, look, man.
Oh,
the Dallas Cowboys.
As a Cowboys fan, for me to be disappointed right now is a crime. But I'm very disappointed.
Well, no. So, if you really look at it, right? So right now, the Cowboys O-line finished 8th overall.
Okay.
In the entire NFL.
Mm-hmm.
In both categories. I feel like they're a better pass offense than they are a running offense.
So you feel like they shifted, like how I explained the Seahawks. They shifted from that run base. Okay. Yeah, because they are letting Dak throw more.
Yeah. But look at the receiver core. The fucking receiver core for the freaking Dallas Cowboys is nutty. I mean, you got 3 guys who are number 1 receivers.
Yeah.
3 of them. And not only that, dude, like you have really, really, really good offensive linemen. And I feel like that's always been a strength of the Cowboys, is having really good offensive linemen. And
yeah, even when you look back in the history, we have had good linemen.
So, and it's funny because I hate the Dallas Cowboys. You know this. And I put them on my list. So it should feel like, I did do a lot of research on it. And I just feel like with the players they have, and I mean, they still are a good O-line. It's just, I feel like without Dak Prescott being able to make that play or two in a game, and the like the slowness of who was your guys' backup?
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton was tomato. Andy Dalton is a slower player. He's a slower QB where he goes through his progressions. Where Dak is like, I already know the play, I already know who I'm throwing it to, and I'm gonna throw it out. Where Dalton was like, hey, I'm gonna go through my progressions. I'm gonna see if this guy's open. I'm gonna see if this guy's open. This guy's open. And it just took too long, and that's why he just ate what he ate. So,
let me know when I can interject.
Well, interject, dude. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do. I'm just saying, like, and me and you have talked about Dak Prescott. We don't think he's going to come back the way that he everyone's expecting him to.
Yeah.
So it's a flip cup, dude. It really is at this point in time. I just feel like Dallas has always invested in the guys,
Yeah.
and they're going to come out, dude, and they're going to be at least top 10 again.
Here's my thing about what you said about Dak. Dak is good when he's coming from behind. I want to see Dak in a situation where he has to gun it and do a shootout with another quarterback. Like that game that Romo had with the Broncos a couple years ago. Yes, granted, Romo threw the pick at the end, and that's what he was known for. But Romo set up their duel for duel, pass for pass with Peyton Manning when they had the number one offense by a long shot in the league that year. And Tony Romo came. I think that was a home game, but like he came out that day and duel. I ain't seen that from Dak yet. I'm not saying he's not capable of that. I think he's clearly capable of that. I mean, the Jordan brand thinks so. They just gave him a X amount of dollars. He's going to be the featured brand of Jordan, which you don't really see in football. Yeah, you have Jordan brand athletes that wear the merchandise, but to be featured in football, you don't see that. So somebody.
Yeah, I think Stephon Diggs got that too.
Yeah, I mean, his is justified, but I feel like Dak is like, if I could use, I feel like Dak Prescott is at a door, and the door is unlocked. He opened the door, but he's like, I want to step through. He'll step a foot in. He'll be like, it's a little. I feel the draft. Let me bring my foot back. Like I feel like if people can understand how I'm trying to explain that, like he won't fully go through the door to being elite. He goes in and out, in and out, in and out, in and in and in. Like Dak, step through the door, take the next step. Look, man, you got 3 elite receivers. You got a good running game. If Zeke gets back in shape like he claims he's doing, if the offensive line comes out healthy, Dak, you got no excuses, bro, to come out and show out. The offense is tailor-made to show out. But, I went over my number 4, so, go ahead and get your number 3, man. Because my number 3, let me just go ahead and say my number 3. We just gonna trade our favorite teams. My number 3 is your Buffalo Bills. I think we lost Z again. All right. So while Z's having technical issues. Oh, there you go. Are you there?
Yeah. So my number 3 is the Buffalo Bills as well.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Buffalo Bills because, like I said in the beginning, I mean, their offense was based on the pass. Like, when they played in the playoffs, they barely ran the ball. They didn't have to. Now, I'm not saying that they couldn't, but their offense is pass-heavy based. Josh Allen took that next step dramatically, having Stephon Diggs, but also give that line credit because if he doesn't have time to throw to Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen does not take that next step. I think it'll be another step, which is why I say again, and I'm going to say it every time I get a chance to breathe and talk about Josh Allen. Josh Allen is winning MVP this season. Not Brady, not Russ, not Rodgers, not Henry or Dalvin Cook. Josh Allen is winning the MVP this upcoming season. And you know what? I'm going to clip this shit and I'm going to tag his ass in it because Josh Allen, no, I'm not a Buffalo Bills fan. That's Z. But I respect your game, my brother. You are going to win MVP this year. I hope I'm not jinxing you or nothing, but my man.
MVP.
Man, MVP will be Josh Allen. Sir, you are a baller, okay? Okay, any disrespect I had when you got drafted, took that shit back, man. Your ass is a baller. So I expect you to come out and put up stupid numbers and win MVP. But yeah, go ahead, Z. Talk about your team, man.
So I'm gonna say I told you so because remember at the beginning of the season you're like Josh Allen ain't gonna be that good.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that? So I'm gonna give my little candies there. You know.
Call me out on it. Call me out because I'll
So
admit it.
well, I told you, man, Stephon Diggs was gonna be the true testament, man. But on to the Buffalo Bills, man. So
Oh, excuse me.
they have not only solidified an offensive line. You have people like Deion Dawkins, Mitch Morse, Darrell Williams, Ike Butker, Joe Feliciano.
Yeah.
They went out in the draft and drafted 2 rookie big boys. Like they are reinvesting into the O line.
Yes.
So let's say in the next few years they may get rid of one of those veteran guys and put in those fresh new blood. And those 2 guys were Tommy Doyle and Spencer Brown, which were good offensive linemen in college. They're both 6'5",
Yeah.
or 6'5" plus, and they both weigh over 300 pounds. I mean, these are big boys, and this is something that the Bills historically really, in the past 10 years, we really haven't had really big boys on the O line. So
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting. This might be the difference maker for our run offense. You those big guys and eat those, those holds. And I forgot Cody Ford. And these are really, it really has been a full circle in a few seasons, dude. Like,
Yes.
it's crazy to talk about it. And then not only that, dude, you have such a deep, such a depth at the wide receiver position.
Such depth.
And I don't know how, like, I am challenging all defensive ends to give me a fucking a tweet or something on like how you defeat that, because I mean, by the time, even if you try to penetrate, man, like you have someone open. Like it's got to be unfair, man. And I feel like that's why they're so high up, because it's unfair, dude. Because these guys are just downfield, or they're wide open in the middle because you sent 3 guys downfield and you left Beasley wide open.
Yeah.
And so that's really why I have them at my top 3, because I feel like the top 2 are pretty solidified at this point in time. Like I don't feel like nobody's gonna knock them out, at least for passing.
After the recent news that came out, it's hard for me to justify my number 2, but I'm gonna keep them on there anyway, despite what may be transpiring soon. But number 2, I got Green Bay. Okay.
Ooh.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, I have the Green Bay Packers, despite all the drama that's going on. Look, David Bakhtiari, probably, and I probably said his name kind of wrong, but by himself, best lineman, top 2, top 3 in the league, with one of those couple of linemen from the Colts line. Like, he's in there. And not having him in that championship game, we see the negative impact, like you said earlier, Z, what it had. Maybe the game doesn't really change in the outcome. Maybe Green Bay still loses, but having him on Rodgers' blind side helps. But as a whole, as a unit, yes, we can point out David, but the rest of that line, for the most part, I mean, Aaron Rodgers puts up these numbers, but again, he needs somebody to block. He needs that foundation in front of him. I don't really think Aaron Rodgers gets sacked much at all when you think about it. Like, just literally think about it. Like, how often do we really see him get sacked? I mean, yeah, he'll throw the ball away to avoid a sack or avoid taking a loss. But usually when he throws the ball away, it's because he's not trying to throw into a tight window or into traffic. Rarely do we see Aaron Rodgers have to throw the ball away because he's about to get sacked. And rarely do I even see Aaron Rodgers get sacked because Green Bay has a they have a great offensive line. Now, they are not a top 5 rushing, but they are a very good rushing line because you got Aaron Jones in the backfield, and he is a pretty good back. Not a top 5, right out on the outside on the bubble, But overall, Green Bay's line is one of the top lines in the league. And I think passing wise, because of who you got in the backfield, I put them at number 2.
See, for me, I feel like they're right on the cusp for me, and it's no hate on them. It's just
Yeah.
I feel like Aaron Rodgers throws that ball away
Too much?
a little too often.
Too often?
You
A lot
know,
of people say that. A lot of people say that.
you know, just for that fact, man. No hate on them. I feel like if he would stay in the pocket for like 25 seconds, he'd probably get sacked. We'd be talking a whole different game. But my number 2 is going to be an interesting one. You might be your number 1. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yep, they're my number 1. You read my mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I feel like this is a very interesting unit. Okay, so they were a pretty solidified unit over the past few seasons.
Mm-hmm.
They added some key pieces when Brady came down. Brady was like, "I'm going to tailor this O line for me."
Yeah, no doubt.
And so he switched a few of the guys around. But I mean, you got people like Tristan Wirfs, Donovan Smith, Ali Marpet, Alex Kappa, and Ryan Henson. And these guys, I mean, it's just a solid unit. Like,
they are.
You're not penetrating very often. And when you do penetrate, dude, it's like a shock. Because you're like, whoa, I just penetrated these guys. And
pause.
No pun. But you dirty mind. But I feel like that's a huge thing, man. And you have Brady.
Sorry.
who does feel that pressure. And like in New England, when he felt pressure, he'd throw the ball away. But it's not the same as Aaron Rodgers throw away.
I agree.
Where Tom Brady, it's only if it's absolute necessary, he'll throw the ball away. And you get the joke?
Yeah, man.
Creepy Tom.
You wow, man.
But yeah. So I feel like, dude. I mean, I just feel more of a passing one.
Uh-oh. Hold on. Check your connection again, my man. Oh, Z's going out. Look at that. Look at that freeze frame. Oh, there you go. I was like, look at that freeze frame, y'all.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You're good, man. You
that's
good.
what I say. I mean, they're a really solid O-line.
Yeah.
And I feel like my number 1, there's a reason why my number 1 is where they're at.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for the star-studded cast that my number 1 has, the Bucks would be number 1.
I'm curious to see who you got number 1 because like you said, I got Tampa Bay number 1. I don't think there's anything I can really add to what you just said. So we're just going to go ahead and roll right on into here number 1 because I am curious.
All right. So my number 1 passing offense is the Colts.
Okay. Okay. I can't argue that. I can't argue that. I mean, they're good.
I'm gonna name you off these guys, right?
Uh-huh.
So you have Mark Glowinski, Eric Fisher, Braden Smith, Quentin Nelson, Ryan Kelly, right? Now, here's the depth players. Sam Kevy, Joey Hunt, Julian Davenport, right? Those 3 guys are starters in other teams.
Oh.
So not only do you have a top, so you have your 5 guys that start.
Uh-huh.
Of those 5 guys, they are 25th and above at their position. So like most of them sitting at like Quentin Nelson, for instance, is number 1. I mean, the guy's a fucking monster.
Quentin Nelson is a beast, so yeah.
And well, there's a reason why they call him the Big Q, dude. You ain't beating him. And so, but if one of those guys go down, they have good players to back them up.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would be like that, like devastating, like for the Kansas City Chiefs, where they lost their whole offensive line and they just fell apart in the Super Bowl, and like if you injure the Colts, they're just gonna put another guy in. And you're like, crap.
The guy in. Yeah.
Now how do I beat this guy?
I agree, man.
And so I feel like And not only that, look at someone that was plugged into it. With the quarterback last year, Philip Rivers.
Yeah, Philip. Mm-hmm.
He was plugged in, and he was still successful.
Yeah, he was.
It was like, you know what I mean, like. And I feel like that's going to be the big thing with Carson Wentz is that he's going to have a unit that's going to block for him and make him, available time to where he doesn't have to do those crazy things that he did in Philadelphia.
I hope he takes advantage of that superior offensive line he's about to get, because this could be a comeback year for Wentz. He could have a breakout year, like the year when they won the Super Bowl before he got hurt. It's safe to say Carson Wentz was going to probably win MVP that year. Maybe they will still won the Super Bowl with him at quarterback. He can be that again now because you got a good offensive line. You have a good defense. Receivers, T.Y. Hilton is getting up there. Who else they got? I don't know who else they got, but still, you got a good team.
Didn't they draft a wide receiver this year? Hold on. Wide receiver. What else?
What are you thinking?
You got Pittman Jr., who's coming into his own. You've got, which I think Pittman Jr. is going to be the guy who's going to take over for T.Y. Hilton.
Okay.
Even though T.Y. Hilton's his own guy.
Yeah.
Paris Campbell, I don't know who really that is.
I don't know either.
But they have Zach Pascal, Ashton Julian, D. McCall Harris, Desmond Patman.
So they seem like just a bunch of guys, but it may work.
Yeah.
For Carson.
Yeah.
Well, it may work for him.
They got Jack Doyle for a tight end, dude, and then they really could, dude. They could, because remember Ertz, when he was with Carson Wentz, had season numbers.
Do you think the Colts try to get Zach Ertz? I don't know. No, they just gave him a contract in Philly, didn't they?
No. So the trade rumor is that Wentz, or not my bad, Ertz has been looking for a trade. That's what the rumor is. Supposedly Buffalo's been linked to it for a long time. I doubt anything's going to happen. But he didn't have that great of a year last year because he fought a bunch of injuries.
Yeah.
And he cost a bunch of money. And a good team that needs a tight end, he would be the same guy, or he could mentor a guy. We talked about that with other players. They mentor them into being these great players. So,
man, this one was interesting. This one was fun to research.
Yeah.
The video for next week, y'all, we really go in depth. We cover the defensive line units. Now, Z has a top 10. I have a top 5. Because I feel like outside of, and I have an honorable mention, but as a unit, I can only really find 5 top, just elite tier. Oh my God, when you play these guys, your offensive linemen better be healthy and they better eat their Wheaties because you in for a long day. But that's next week's video. But that is the end of this video, guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Y'all be sure to leave your comments down in the comment section. Tell how much of jackasses we are or how much you agree with us. And hashtag Josh Allen for MVP in the comment section if you would please. But that is another video. Be sure to find us on Facebook. Unfiltered Sports Podcast. That is being run by my man Z over there. Be sure to find me on my social media links at ApolloSolo23. Links will be in the description. But we want to thank y'all so much for joining us here. Y'all take care. Be safe. We are out of here. We will catch y'all next time. One love and all glory to God, baby.